if you want to be a politician, there's one skill you absolutely have to have. You have to be able to take a joke. And tonight, I'm going to prove it. Because public office isn't about ego. It isn't about protecting your image. It's about representing millions of people, many of whom will disagree with you. So let me ask you something. If a politician can't handle a comedian making fun of them, how are they going to handle the American people criticizing them? Should a leader be able to laugh at themselves? Or should politicians always try to protect their image? Because here's the truth. Leadership puts you in front of the entire country. An entire country has opinions, sometimes serious ones, sometimes angry ones, and sometimes funny ones. But if a leader reacts to every joke with outrage, every criticism with defensiveness, every disagreement with hostility, what does that tell you? It tells you something important. It tells you they might not actually be comfortable with accountability. So here's the test. Instead of talking about it, I'm going to demonstrate it. If you're asking people to trust you, should you prove you can laugh at yourself first? So let's test that theory. Because if you want to be in politics, you're going to get laughed at eventually anyway. So the real question isn't whether people will laugh at you. The real question is, can you laugh with them? Because if you can't handle a joke, you probably can't handle public office either. All right, now that we've established I can't survive a joke about myself, let's talk about why this matters. Because humor isn't just entertainment. It's actually a stress test. When a leader can laugh at themselves, it shows confidence. It shows humility. It shows they're secure enough not to treat every criticism like a personal attack. And when someone can't handle humor at their own expense, that offers a warning sign. If someone can't handle a joke, how will they handle real criticism? How will they handle pressure? How will they handle disagreement from millions of citizens? Because leadership in a democracy means hearing voices that disagree with you, sometimes loudly. And those voices don't always speak politely. They speak through protests. They speak through journalism. They speak through satire. And sometimes they speak through comedians. Political humor has always existed. Late night shows, cartoons, editorial jokes, even the founding fathers dealt with political satire, because humor is one of the ways societies check power. If a leader can't tolerate being laughed at, they often start trying to control the people doing the laughing. That's when democracies start drifting into something less healthy, because humanity is one of the quiet guide rail powers. It reminds leaders they're human. It's not the emperor having a slave going, "You're only human, you're only a man, you're only a man" syndrome. It reminds them they're accountable, and it reminds them that holding office doesn't make them untouchable. Now, don't get me wrong. Politics is serious. Policies affect real lives. But taking a job seriously doesn't mean taking yourself too seriously. In fact, the opposite is often true. The more power someone's hold, the more important humility becomes. Because leadership without humility eventually turns into arrogance. And arrogance is how governments stop listening. So if someone wants to lead, if someone wants to represent millions of people, if someone wants the public's trust, there's one simple test they should pass. Can they laugh at themselves? Because if they can't laugh at themselves, they probably shouldn't be running the country. And that's Scott 2028.